Yeah, there is a Mishnah in Maseches Rosh Hashanah. The Mishnah talks, Chalal Rosh Hashanah, the Masechta talks about the Eidim, how it used to be in the times of Beis HaMikdash, the Sanhedrin would be Mekadesh, the Chodesh, the Rosh Chodesh, Al Pi Re'iyah, based on vision. Not based on the calendar, but based on physical sighting of the new moon. When the new moon was sighted, that's when the Rosh Chodesh. And how would we know when the new moon was seen? We have two Eidim witnesses will come to the Bezin. That they have witnessed the new moon. The Bezin would ask them a lot of questions. Where did they see the moon? And this, if it makes sense that what they saw is Taka the moon, and if the Taka true witnesses. And then the Bezin would say, Mekodesh, Mekodesh, it's a Rosh Chodesh, and call it Rosh Chodesh. After the Beis HaMikdash, there's no more Sanhedrin. We don't have the ability to accept, to convey a Rosh Chodesh in that method. So the Torah says when you don't have Eidos, you cannot be Mekadesh Al Pi Re'iyah based on sight. You Mekadesh the Chodesh based on the calendar. That the Bezdin makes Cheshbonis, calculations when the moon will appear. So it's make different calculations, and based on the calculations, that's how we set up Rosh Chodesh. Now, in those days, since it was based on Eidim, there was no calendar, so everyone needed to know when Sanhedrin made the Rosh Chodesh. How is everyone going to know when it's Rosh Chodesh? They couldn't look in the calendar on the refrigerator or on the magnet to see when Rosh Chodesh is, or on the phone. You need to hear from the Bezin, because they're the ones that are deciding. It's not a calendar. It's not calendar based. Whenever the Sanhedrin hears from kosher witnesses that they saw the sighting of the new lunar month, the new moon, that's what Rosh Chodesh is.
Or they lit fires.
So in the beginning, the way there was no phones, no fax, no text, no email. How are they going to let the message go? Believe it or not, there was no email and text those days. So the Maisa, they had to get the message out. So originally they would light fires. They had a whole system how to let, even in Bavel they should know. They would stand on tall mountains, and the Mishnah explains exactly which mountains they would stand on. And people knew to wait. They would have the communities would have people waiting on the mountains on those two on that night, and the night that it was supposed to be Rosh Chodesh. And they would wait. If they would see someone on the top of the mountain with a special torch, very high torch, the one on the next mountain, the high mountain, would see and light a torch, and the next mountain all the way till Bavel. They had a whole system which mountain could see which mountain all the way till Bavel, and in Bavel itself, the person on a certain mountain close to Bavel would wait there until everyone in Bavel would see the torch, would go up to the rooftops. They would also light a torch. And the whole Bavel became like one big fire, all lit up. And the whole Goyla was all lit up. And everyone knew it was Rosh Chodesh, and that's how they got the message across. However, later on there was an issue because there were people, the Baitusim and the Tzedukim, they tried to make trouble and to confuse the Yidden when it's Rosh Chodesh. So they would send up someone there, not on the right day, and to send messages. So it became confusion. So there had to be a new system. The new system was they would send out shluchim, messengers. The Bezdin would have shluchei Bezdin, that they would go out and run, and it took them time till they got to Bavel, to Chutz La'aretz, to let them know. That's how they would know. Now they wouldn't send the shluchim out for every month, because it's not necessary to go out every month. We need to know Rosh Chodesh is the most important times in a month when there's a Yom Tov in a month, because that's what you have to know when the Yom Tov is. So the Mishnah, Rosh Hashanah says that 6 months, Al Shisha Chadashim, Hashluchim Yotzim. I'm not going to, this is the Amud before this Amud that we're reading here. I'm just going to give over the Mishnah. So the Mishnah says that they used to go out for 6 months of the year. They used to go out, Shluchim went out to let everyone know when is Rosh Chodesh Nisan, because it's very important when to be Kivei Pesach. And also Shavuos is dependent on Pesach. 50 days from Pesach is Shavuos. So Shavuos is dependent on Pesach. Then the Shluchim went out in Taanis for Rosh Chodesh Av to know when the Taanis Tisha BeAv is. We have to know when to fast Tisha BeAv. So the Shluchim have to let us know. Al Elul, in order to get ready for Rosh Hashanah. Al Tishrei, You need to know when it's Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shemini Atzeres, so you have to have shluchim. And Kislev for Chanukah, and Adar for Purim. And when there was a Beis HaMikdash, they also, the shluchim went out for Eir because of Pesach Katan and the Pesach Sheni. All the other months, so you didn't find out when Rosh Chodesh was right away. Okay, so what's going to happen? You still have to be a Yid, you still have to put on tefillin, you have to daven. So you don't know what day of the calendar it is exactly. You're not sure it's this day or that day. So they did 2 days. They didn't know.
How about reading the Torah?
They say Hallel 2 times.
When did start reading the Torah?
I don't know. These are good questions. It's good questions. The Gabi, by the way, he wants to know what did they do with Kriyas HaTorah on Rosh Chodesh.
Oh, you can say the same thing about the whole Gemara.
Whole Musaf. Musaf, well, there was no Musaf those days because after the Beis HaMikdash there was, yeah, correct.
Even it's not so simple that
they did two. Just like we do today, we do 2 days. In Shchodesh, they did 2 days. It was an issue, but it wasn't something.
I was always wondering about, like, in those days when there was no this communication like there is today. Not only about things like this, but in general, not everybody lived in the city. Like, let's say people lived out in some village, or somebody lived on a farm somewhere. So how did they know about? Not only about the calendar, but about other things also.
Had to come once in a while to the big city, to find out what's doing in the big world.
And not only that, they didn't even know how to read. They used to be farmers, right? So it's like once in a while somebody come and read for everybody the letters from the post office. That's how bad he was.
The Rebbe said over many years ago a story by Fabrengen once that a lot of people that lived in these far out settlements, but they had children. They wanted the children to learn some Torah. So that if they had some money, they would hire a malamed to come live by them on the farm, wherever it was, where they had their business to live. A malamed should come in their house, stay by them for a few months, and to teach their children. There was no formal school systems then, so it was called. Someone lived in a yeshuv in a settlement somewhere, and this yeshuvnik, he didn't know how to read or to write. He got a letter. So he asked the Malamed to read the letter to him. The Malamed knew how to read. So Malamed read the letter, and the letter said bad news, that Nebuch, the farmer, the Yeshuvnik's father, was Nebuch Nifter Leilenu. So the Yeshuvnik fainted. He heard the news. So the Rebbe said over how in one of the Mashpim in Chachomim in Lubavitch, so he used to talk to the Bachrim, so he said, why did the Yeshuvnik faint? He couldn't read the letter. The Malamed read the letter. The Malamed should faint. Elamai, what's the answer? It's not your father.
Yeah.
It's not his father.
Yeah.
So he said you have to know when you're learning Torah, it's a dain tata. It's your father you're reading about. You have to feel it's negeya. You're not like the Malamed who's reading the letter for someone else. You have to know you're reading something which is for you. And it's just a side thing. Okay. So Maisa, the Gemara asks a question. The Gemara says, why did they not go out for the months of Tammuz and Tevis? You have in Tammuz, you have Shavasa b'Tammuz, a fast day, and Tevis, you have Asar b'Tevis. So Tishrei, we already know when Tzem Gedalia is, because we have already going for Tishrei.
Yeah.
But what about the other Tzaimis? Why don't we send out Shluchim for these 2 months? For Tammuz, only for Tisha BeAv? What about for Tammuz and for Tevis?
Yeah.
So this is the Gemara is coming to answer this Shaila. That's what the Gemara is doing in this Gemara we're learning. The Omar, Reb Chana bar Bizna. Reb Chana bar Bizna said, Omar Reb Shimon Chasida, in the name of Reb Shimon Chasida, Mai Dichsiv. What is this that it says in the Pasuk in Zechariah? Koi Amar Hashem, so said Hashem Tzvokis. Soim Haravi, the fast of the 4th month, Tzayim HaChamishi, and the 5th, Tzayim HaShvi, Tzayim HaSiri, Yiyeh L'beis Yehuda L'sasam L'simcha. Will be days of rejoicing and happiness for Klal Yisrael. So, the Gemara, Reb Shimon Chasida asked, the Gemara seems to on one hand refer to these days, these months, these days as Tzoyim, they're fast days. On the other hand, we say that it's days of rejoicing, simcha. What is it? It's simcha or is it tzaim? Make up your mind. So the Gemara says, Karilu tzaim, v'karilu sasim, the simcha. What does this mean? It's called a tzaim and it calls sasim the simcha. The Gemara explains like this: Bizman sheyeh shalom, yiu l'sasim l'simcha. Ein shalom tzaim. When there is peace, meaning that when the Goyim do not rule over the Yidden and Klal Yisrael rules over Eretz Yisrael, we have a time of a Geula, Beis HaMikdash, then there will be Sasim and Simcha, they're happy days, these fast days. Ein Shalom, however, if there's no peace, we are in Galus still, we still have Hamas raining hundreds of rockets on us, right? So, Tzaim, it's considered a Tzaim, you have to fast. Amar Papa explained, Hachikam. This is what, he explained it more clear. Bizman sheyeh shalom yulasasal l'simcha. When there will be shalom, it will be for sasal and simcha. Yesh gezeres amalchos. When there's a gezeres amalchos, there's a decree against us, then Tzaim, it's a fast day. Ein gezeres amalchos. There's no gezeres amalchos against us. Ve'ein shalom. However, we still are not ruling over ourselves. We don't have a geula. We are not in control. Then is a middle time. On one hand, we are not being persecuted. On the other hand, we can't say that we are ruling over ourselves and everything is the way it's supposed to be in Eretz Yisrael. So then, ratzu misanin, ratzu ein misanin. The Taanis are optional. Before Taanis are optional, ratzu misanim, ratzu ein misanim. If you want, you can fast. If you don't want, you don't fast.
But I want to ask something.
Yeah.
What country, like the Marshall, let's say America in the 1960s, for sure, like Sweden felt, I mean, there was even now, I mean, there's no Xeris Amalchus, Chas v'Shalom on Eden. On the other hand, in Russia, it was Xeris Amalchus, right? So, I mean, like, so would the Eden in America say, you know, like, so what
So
would be
this is a machlokes about it. It's not so clear. Yeah, there are some shittas that hold that anywhere in the world, if there's a country that's persecuting Klal Yisrael, which we still have, unfortunately, in Iran and other places, right?
Yeah.
So any country, then it's considered Gezeirat HaMalchus and it's a chiyuv.
On the whole Gola, all the
Right.
different Golas.
Right, but not everyone learns that way. Some people say it depends on the majority, and some people say it depends on Eretz Yisrael.
Right, so that's
It's a lot of machlokes about it.
What about Eretz
Abolish it
Yisrael?
by having a Bezdin or
No.
Sanhedrin?
No, but
Right.
it could be.
No, I'll tell you. So let's talk about it a little. Let's make it a little. Let's just summarize what we just said. I want to make sure everyone's clear before we go further.
Okay.
We want to get a little bit background to all the Taanis.
Yeah.
Be fast and see if we can get to some interesting lumdis.
Yeah, like
So there's three tkufas.
Same Gedalia, for instance.
The Gemara explains.
They ever gave heterim to some people.
Some people are not well. 1 minute. There are three different tkufas here. If we have there's shalom, when there's peace and everything is good for Klal Yisrael, we are in control. No one's bothering us. We're in control. We have a Yishuv Beis HaMikdash. That's shalom, peace. There's another tkufa where there is Gezeiras HaMalchus. We're being persecuted. There's Shmad. There's times of Shmad, Gezeiras HaMalchus. As I told you, machlokes.
Okay.
But there is for Klal Yisrael, there is difficult times. Then there's a middle time period where we don't have the situation of Shalom, where Klal Yisrael is fully at peace with its enemies, we're in control. On the other hand, we don't have Gezeiras HaMalchus, like in America, like a similar example, like in America. So these three periods of time. So the Pasuk, the Papa explained like this: when will these fast days be happy days and be Yom Tovim? These fast days will turn into happy days that you're allowed to eat and drink and be Yom Tiv, will be when we have Shalom. When Klal Yisrael has a Melech, we rule all of ourselves, we're in Eretz Yisrael, we have Tkifis, Yad Yisrael, Tkifa, Beis HaMikdash, different interpretations exactly what, but Bizman Sheyeh Shalom, that Tkufa, it's going to be Sasa L'Sim. On the other hand, if we have the opposite extreme, we don't have shalom, but we have gezeiras hamalchus. We have shmad against Klal Yisrael, or against a part of Klal Yisrael, where Yidden are being persecuted and everything. So then, these soimes, these fast days are a chiyuv, and they're a tzoim. You have a chiyuv midivrei Kabbalah, midivrei Neviyim. Kabbalah means midivrei Neviyim. From the Neviyim to fast, because this is the Neviyim. Tzayim HaChamishi, Tzayim HaSiri. These are all in the Navi and Zechariah.
Is that more than the Rabbanon?
Sure.
But it's not the
Sure.
Raisa. But it's
Not the
still
Raisa, but it's much more chomer than the Rabbanon.
Oh.
L'gabi Safik and other things.
Yeah.
Now, then there's a middle kufa. There's the Parav time, where we don't have shalom, but we don't have Gzeiras HaMalchus. We're not in control of ourselves. We're being ruled over by others. But on the other hand, we're not being persecuted. During that time, the Gemara Papa explains, it's an optional Taanis. Ratzu misanin, ratzu ein misanin. This is the halacha, by the way. This is the halacha. The question is today, someone could ask, so maybe it's optional to fast, because we don't have any shalom, but we don't have any gzeiras hamalchus. So there's two answers to that. One answer is the basic answer that Ratzu, Klal Yisrael wanted to fast.
Yeah.
They accepted upon themselves to fast. So now you have a chiyuv to fast because that's what Klal Yisrael did. So Yachid can't take himself. The Ramban explains that a single person can't decide now, I don't want to fast. Ratzu Masana, Ratzu Imasana is not on the Yachid. It's on the tzibur of Klal Yisrael.
It's a din of Neder?
Klal Yisrael accepted upon it. If Klal Yisrael maybe will one day come all together and would decide differently, that's too hard to fast, whatever it might be. If they would have such a skansus of Akilos Klal Yisrael, then maybe they could change it. But Lamaisa, as a Yachid, he says no one has the ability to change it, and therefore we have a chiyuv to fast. And a part is Geder Yeshchanu Nachash. And the Mechaber and Shulchan Aruch brings this Ramban. Now, others say even more than that. It's not only that Ratzu Misanin in today's days is based on an option, because there are certain places in the world that there is still persecution of Klal Yisrael.
Right.
So therefore, it's a chiyuv and gans Klal Yisrael midivrei Kabbalah. It's not midivrei Rabbanan, it's midivrei Kabbalah. If you learn Ratzu Misanin that it's optional, it comes out that today the fact that we do it is only midivrei Rabbanan, because it's something that we chose to do. It's something that we chose to do. So therefore, the chiyuv is only a chiyuv that not to break from the Rabbanan, from the minig. But it's not a chiyuv midivrei Kabbalah. On the other hand, if we learn that there's a certain place in the world today that there's still shmad, there's still gzeiras hamalchus, and that affects all of Klal Yisrael, that we are all considered in such a state. If we learn that way, especially Yekutani, the Eretz Yisrael also has although we have a country and there's rulership, but Lamaisa we still are stuck with our enemies, and they're still we're not in full control of the situation, and we still have every day, we hear a lot of terrible stories and things, and so we're still suffering a lot. So it's a shayla how we also rate Gezeiras Malchus Shmad. How far does it go? If you have people raining missiles on you, but you have an iron dome, and so how do we exactly rate it? So it's an Ishta Zay Klor. So therefore, according to certain shittas, I'm not saying all shittas, but according to certain shittas, even today it's in Divrei Kabbalah. Now, the Maisa, the Shaila is why Tisha BeAv is different. Tisha BeAv we don't see. So basically, the Gemara's answer to his original question is why were shluchim not sent out for the months of Tammuz and Tevis, which have in them the summers of Shivasa Tammuz and Sarba Tevis, and only on Tisha BeAv? The answer is like this. These Taanesim and Yois that it was a time period, the time of the Mishnah, where there was no Gzeiras HaMalchus, but there was no Shalom. It was optional to fast. Yois was optional. Yeah. We don't need to send out Shluchim. We don't need to send out Shluchim for something a fast is optional. Later on, at some point, Klal Yisrael all accepted upon themselves, so now it's a chiyuv, maybe midin neder, whatever the din will be, but it's a chiyuv on everyone. Masha'in came then in the times of the Mishnah, Chazal did not feel the need to send out shluchim For these Taanis, someone wants to fast, let him choose the day to fast, but we're not going to send out shluchim for this.
But what בעל האגדה said, בכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מציל ממנו.
Every generation.
They have
Okay.
problems. This בעל האגדה said that.
Okay, according to this, we have to say that it's only going to be the majority of Klal Yisrael. You know what? Listen, even every generation they come upon this, it doesn't mean the entire year. It could be in a certain time period,
Timing, yeah.
a certain generation. In a generation, it means every year there was a peaceful year. It means every generation we had people. There was a Haman every year. There was a Pari every time. It was in every generation we had issues, but it doesn't mean constantly. So what happens if you have a good year? It's a good year. This is a good year. We have to judge each year for itself.
Well, with the matzav of Eretz Yisrael be different from the matzav of Jews in any other country in ours? Is it more a cheshivas?
Yeah.
Let's say in
According to a lot of
Havana?
Shittas, yes.
Yeah, I just couldn't
Agav, the Satmar Rebbe is one of those who held in his Tshuvas, Divrei Yoel, he's one who held that if there's any Medina in the world that is Gezeira Shmad, then it's a Chiyuv in Divrei Kabbalah and all the class. He has a Tshuva about it. It's not clear. This is an issue which remains open for discussion. The exact interpretation of Shmad and how many people have to be under the Shmad, and if it's majority, it's Eretz Yisrael. It's not clear things. So there's different Mefarshim about it. It's not really so much Negei L'Maisa, because L'Maisa we all fasting anyways. But it's a Shaila Lumdis more Pshat, and maybe in certain times of a suffix.
According to Satmar Rebbe, Eretz Yisrael, there's the Medina Yisrael, it's Shmad.
The whole Medina is the one big
Shmad.
Shmad.
Exactly.
Okay, but that's his
His
history. Here he was talking about
Different shmad.
Yeah, this was in his Chuvas. It wasn't a.
something else.
It was a regular
The
Tshuva.
Goyim Shmad. The Goyim Shmad, exactly.
Yeah. So Ma'aser Aboisai, we are holding the line starts with the word Shalom. It's about 10 lines from the top of the page.
Shalom, shalom.
The ending of the line is Ihachi. So the Gemara had now explained why we did not send out Shluchim. The Mishnah does not mention sending out Shluchim or Tammuz and Tevis because those Taanis are optional. So the Gemara says, if so, Ihachi, Tez Ba'av Nami, Tisha BeAv Nami. We should also not send out for Av. Why does the Mishnah say we send out Shluchim for the month of Av because of the Taanis Tisha BeAv? Tisha BeAv is also one of the 4 Taanis mentioned in the Pasuk, and it also should be optional today. So the Gemara says, no, it's not optional. Amar Papa, Shani Tez Ba'av, Hoyel V'huch B'lu Beitzaris. Tez Ba'av is different, since there was a lot of tzaras that happened on that day. The Amar, like Master said, Tez Ba'av, Charav Abayis, but he's showing the Mishnah. The Beis HaMikdash destroyed both the first and the second time. The Nilka de Beitar, after the second Beis HaMikdash, they went to have a revolt. For many years, they gathered and tried to make a revolt against the Romans. But the ending of Tisha BeAv, Nilka de Beitar, Beitar was captured. The Nechla Sha'ir and the whole city of Eretz Yisrael, of Yishalayim, was plowed to the ground. Tosis actually asked, L'chora, we find Shavasa B'Tammuz also a number of bad things happened. It wasn't just that the wall was broken in. Shavasa B'Tammuz, the Luchas were broken the first time, right? Moshe came down from the Har Sinai. And the Karbonis were in this battle when after they broke into the city. So there's a number of bad things. So why Tisha BeAv, only Tisha BeAv? There's also a lot of tzaras on Shavasa B'Tammuz. So the Gemara says 2 things. Tosis explains 2 things. Number 1, Tosis says that the Beis HaMikdash, it doesn't come close to the level of the Churban Beis HaMikdash. Churban Beis HaMikdash is the most serious thing. You break the city, no more Kabbanis, but the actual destruction, the whole being, that's it, no more. That's the biggest. Number 2, Tisha BeAv, you had 2 of the same. You had both times the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed on the same day. So it shows on a really bad sign. Same tzara twice.
And was the Luchas, right? The Stavro.
That was Shavasa B'Tammuz.
Oh,
It didn't happen twice.
okay.
He happened 2 Luchos, but not twice.
But don't they say, I think that the expulsion from Spain was Tisha BeAv, I think?
Yeah. Also, the Gemara says that the Meraglim,
The Meraglim, that's what
This is the few tzoros. This is the few tzoros. Not only one tzor, a few tzoros.
Yeah.
the Meraglim. That's
The Rebbe said, "Oh, you bet."
Throughout
you call it
history-
now you're going to call it there and stay there on.
Throughout history, there were a lot of tzaras that Klal Yisrael suffered on
Right.
Tisha B'Av.
Yeah.
A lot of... Now. Okay, Adkan, so we now know why the Shluchim went out for the month of Tisha B'Av, because Tisha B'Av, Klal Yisrael always accepted upon themselves to keep Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av was considered a date. It was never an optional Taanis, Tisha B'Av. However, the other Taanesim were optional, the other three Taanesim. Ratzu Misanin, Ratzu Ein Misanin, at that period of time. And therefore, Chazal did not feel the need to send out Shluchim to let people know exactly when that those Taanesim are. People will work it out on their own. Figure it out. We're not, Bezin is not achroi for this. A Bezin deals with chiyuv, not with things that are chumras and hidurim. That's not the Bezin's policy. Now, Adkan, let's learn now another Braisa. Now we're going to take a look at a very interesting Minchas Chinuch, a very Londish Sefer, written on the Sefer HaChinuch on Yeshaynim. And Minchas Chinuch has a very interesting take on the whole idea of Tzaimis. Before we go to that, I want to learn now another half of Amud. It's an interesting Gemara. The Gemara says, Tanya. We learned in the Braisa. Amar Rav Shimon, Arba Dvarim Hayir Rabbi Kiva Doirish. There were four things that Rabbi Kiva expounded. Vani ein Doirish Kemoise. However, I do not hold by his shita. Yeah, the line starts with Tzoyim Haravi. About 15 lines on top of the page. Tzoyim Haravi, Rabbi Kiva said, is a Tes B'Av. The fourth Tzoyim means the fourth month. Tzoyim Haravi means the fourth month. The fast is, the pasuk in Zechariah doesn't actually say dates. There is no dates over here. It just says months. Tzayim Revi, the tzam of the fourth month. Tzayim Chamishi, the tzam of the fifth month. We are counting in months from Nisan. Months we count from Nisan times. So fourth month means Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz. Means Shivasa B'Tammuz, right? Tzayim Revi, Zet Tes B'Tammuz. Rabbi Kiva explained that was the 9th day of Tammuz. Shabai Hufka Ir, the city was broken in on the 9th day of Tammuz. Shenemar B'Tisha L'Chodesh B'Revi, on the 4th month, B'Tisha L'Chodesh, on the 9th day of the month. V'Yachsa Kara B'Ir, the famine was very strong in the city. L'Haya Lechem L'Amaretz, there was no food for the people, no bread. V'Tibaka Ir, the city broke. The city broke, there was no food, they couldn't stand anymore the famine. Now, the Gemara says, Amai Kara L'Revi, Rabbi Kiva, this is all of Shimon explaining what Rabbi Kiva learned. Why does the Torah call it Revi? Revi L'Chadashim. It's the fourth in months. Tammuz, but it's Tes Tammuz, not Shavasa B'Tammuz. You know? Tosfos explains that in the first Beis HaMikdash it was Tes Tammuz. The second Beis HaMikdash was Shivasa B'Tammuz. We fast Shivasa B'Tammuz because that's what's Negea for us, the second Beis HaMikdash. That was closer to us. Now, Tzayim HaChamishi, when the pasuk in Zechariah says that the fifth fast, what is that referring to? Is that Tisha B'Av, the first wide line? This is Tisha B'Av. Shabai Nisra Beis Elokeinu. The house of our God was burned. Why is it called the fifth fast? Chamishi l'chadashim, the fifth to the months, because Av is the fifth month from this. Tzayim HaShvi, the seventh fast, Zeh Gimel B'Tishrei. Shabai Nera Gedalia ben Achikam. This is Tzayim Gedalia. He was killed. Gedalia was the leader of the Jewish people after the Churban Bayis Rishon. Umi Hargi, who killed him? Yishmael ben Nisanya Hargai killed him. And why do we fast? Lamedcha, to teach you us Sheshkulim Misasa Shaldikim Kesevis Beis Elokim. That just like we fast on Tisha B'Av, when we destroy the Beis HaMikdash, when a tzaddik is killed, it's also a day of mourning. It's a very serious day of mourning for Klal Yisrael.
But tzaddik died, not when he killed.
V'amai kodali Shvi, and why is it called Shvi? Again, Shvi l'chadashim, the 7th month, because Chodesh HaShvi is Tishrei. So now Tzayim HaSini, the 10th month, the 10th fast, Zeh Asar B'Tevis, the 10th of Tevis, Shabo Yisama Melech Bavel Yishalayim. That's when Melech Bavel laid siege on Yerushalayim in the first Beit HaMikdash. Shenemim Hidvar Hashem Elai B'Shana Atshis, in the 9th year, B'Chodesh HaSini, the 10th month, B'Elsel HaChodesh, and the 10th day of the month, Asar B'Tevis. Lamer is saying, Ben Adam, Hashem told me, it's Yecheskel talking, Ben Adam, man, Ksav L'chaz Shem Hayoim as Etzem Hayim Azeh Samach Melabav Yishalayim. Write down that on this very day, the Melech of Bavel, the king of Bavel, laid siege to Yerushalayim. V'amai Kol Asiri, again, the Rabbi Akiva had asked, why is it called the 10th? Asir L'chadashim, the 10th of the month. Now, Lamaiseh, we have a little bit of an interesting order over here. Rabbi Akiva, this is all Rabbi Akiva. Now we're going to see how Rabbi Shimon says that I disagree with it. But Rabbi Akiva taught, the way he taught the months comes out, Sarah B'Tevis is the last one mentioned in the Pasuk. Soy Masiri, the 10th month, is the Sarah B'Tevis. Tevis is the 10th month from this. What happened first in the chronological order of events? First came Asara B'Tevis. Asara B'Tevis is when the siege was laid. That's before everything. First came Asara B'Tevis. Then came Shavasa B'Tammuz, the wall was broken into. Then came Tisha BeAv, when the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. Then came the fast of Gedalia, because Gedalia was after the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. So, but according to the Rabbi Akiva, learns the Psukim, it doesn't go in the chronological history, but it goes according to the Seder of the months of the year.
Yeah.
What came first in the months of the year from this time? So Tevis is the 10th month. It's the last month. That's what he says over here. The line starts with L'chadashim. Before this last month, the last Taanis, Sarah B'Tevis should have been written first. But why is it written here in the ending? Rabbi Akiva learned Kidei lahazdir chadashim kitiknon. In order that the pasuk had put it according to the seder of the months of the year. The final month is Tevis, even though historically it's not what happened. But the Torah wanted to set things up in the order of the months. Vani Eini Oimakain said, Reb Shimon, I don't hold like Rabbi Akiva in this detail. I disagree with him. Tzayim Asiri, I want to make it that the pasuk spoke history. The pasuk spoke in the proper chronological order. And therefore, Reb Shimon said, the 10th fast is not Asara B'Tevis, Zeh Chamisha B'Tevis. Because the Torah itself doesn't say what day in the month. It says just the 10th month. What's the 10th month? Which day? He says it's referring to Hey Tevis. What happened in Hey Tevis? Shabai Basa Shmuel L'Goyla Shehuk Seir. After Tisha BeAv. It took time for messages to travel those times, like we spoke earlier. Word didn't get, and also in times of war it was difficult, there was a lot of confusion. When did the people in the Goyla hear, the people that were not living in Eretz Yisrael, they lived in Chutz La'aretz, when did they all hear the terrible news that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed? It took a few months for them to hear. When did all of the Goyla know? They only knew the 5th of Tevis. So when they heard the 5th of Tevis, that day for them was like Tisha BeAv. That day was like the day that it was actually destroyed. They fasted. Shabai Basa Shmuel the Goyla, to the Goyla came the news Shehuk Seir, that the city was hit. Shanamar Vehi B'Shtei Masa Esrei Shana, was in the 12th year Basiri, 10th month B'Chamisha L'Chodesh, the 5th of the 10th month Hey Tevis. The Golos Seinu to our Golos. Ba Elaya Polit Mishalayim. So the Cheskel, a refugee, came to me from Yerushalayim. Lamar saying, Huksa Ha'ir, the ear has been hit and been taken over.
Yecheskel was in Babel?
Yeah. He's buried there. Va'asu Yoim Shmua Ki Yoim Sreifa. And they made the day that they heard. Yoim Shmua Ki Yoim Sreifa, like the day it was burned. So they all fasted. So according to the Machlaikis, Rabbi Akiva and Shimon, which day is the fast of the 10th month. According to Rebbe Kiva, it's Asara B'Tevis, the day Melech Bava laid siege. And according to Reb Shimon, it's Hey Tevis, the day when the Shemua came to the Goyla. Now explains Reb Shimon, I hold that my words are better than Rebbe Kiva. My pshat is better. I give the order, when way I learned the Psukim comes out, that all the events are in the chronological order. First is Tammuz, Shavasa B'Tammuz, it was broken in. Then comes Av, the Tzayim HaChamishi, which is Tisha BeAv. Then came Tzayim Gedalia. Then when in the news all they reached into the Goyla was only later on in Tevis, Tzayim HaSidi and Hey Tevis. So it's all in the order of events. Ela Shehu Mayna L'Seder Chadoshim. But Rabbi Kiva, he wants to learn Pshat. You know, it's not a Pshat that Rabbi Kiva didn't Bichlal have any Pshat. Rabbi Kiva wanted to tell you that the Psukim were not written according to the historical order. It was written according to the months. However, I count it based on the order of when these bad events occurred. Ad Kan, this interesting Gemara. L'maisa, we take on Rabbi Kiva's opinion, and we fast on Asara B'Tevis. We have a very interesting Minchas Chinuch, and I first say it outside, and we'll take a look inside. We'll have to see how much we can get through, but at least the basic English. The Chassidus comes of the Chiddush like this. We know there are certain days on the calendar when we have a chiyuv to fast. Comes along the Minchas Chinuch and says no. No. From the Neviyim's perspective, the Neviyim never were Keveya days. They never set up days. They set up months. The Neviyim themselves set up Chadoshim. They set up Chadoshim. Tzoyim HaRevi, Tzoyim HaChamishi, Tzoyim HaShvi, Tzoyim HaSini. What it says any day in the Torah. It doesn't say in the pasuk which day. There are other psukim that talk about bad events which happen each day. But in these actual psukim that tell us that we have an obligation to fast, it doesn't say any days. It just says months. And with this premise, he wants to answer a lot of bomb questions. And one of the questions is, how could Rabbi Kiva and Reb Shimon, that we just learned, have a machloikis about why we fast, whether we fast on Asara B'Tevis or whether we're supposed to fast on Hey Tevis? How can you have a machloikis? Rabbi Kiva and Reb Shimon lived right after the Churban. Rabbi Kiva, we have the whole story in the end of Makis. Rabbi Kiva walked by the Churban Beis Hamikdash. So they didn't know when they fasted. They didn't know. It doesn't make any sense. We're having arguments on basic days in the calendar when all of Klal Yisrael fasts. They didn't know. They didn't know which days we fast on the calendar. How did they forget? Elamai, he wants to learn, the Chassidus wants to learn that during the Beis Hamikdash, during the times of the Beis Hamikdash, you could choose whenever you want within that month to celebrate. During the Beis Hamikdash, they didn't fast. It was Soim, it was Sasan and Simcha, because it was Shalom. It was Man Shei Shalom, Sasan and Simcha. So they were able to choose any day in the month when they wanted to be happy. It wasn't a specific date, because the Torah never says dates. The Torah says months. Any day in the month you could pick on your own. You want your family could do this day, your family could do that day.
The whole months.
After the Churban, Chazal wanted to set things up clear. They wanted to make set dates for Klal Yisrael. They argued what should be the set date, which should be the Iker date. In the month we should be Keveya. Should we be Keveya? Rabbi Akiva the Taanis, Asara B'Tevis. That's when the Melech Bava laid siege. And Reb Shimon the Taanis, no. Hey Tevis was the day when they heard in Galus, in the Goyla, about the whole Churban Beis Hamikdash, that the Beis Hamikdash was burned.
So does that mean it's the Rabbanan now? Because they were conveyed the day and the Neviyim only the...
So he wants a taina, yeah. That he wants to. That's the Rabbanon. We know it's the Rabbanon anyways because after the Beis Hamikdash, if there's no shmad,
Right.
it's Ratzah Misan and Ratzah Ein Misan. But now Chazal want to be keveya. When is the Misanim? When is the days that we fast?
Yeah.
So therefore, there could the machloik is how could you have a machloik is about something which is clear? Because until then it was an optional any day in the month. It's a big chiddush. He has a lot of other things that she's masber with this.
Sure had to fast though.
B'divrei Kabbalah you had to fast, but once, but not in the not in times of the Beis Hamikdash.
But they didn't. You're saying they did or they didn't?
Not in the times of the Beis Hamikdash. Beis Hamikdash you had to be happy on that day. Except,
In other words, when you had the second Beis Hamikdash, that day was a Yom Tov, not a...
right. Let's take a look inside. Hanira Lefini Daiti seems to me, Benafkim, and I think there's also going to come out some difference la halacha when you done Gamke. The Arba Tzoyim all these 4 fast days with Divrei Kabbalah, which are words of Kabbalah from the Neviyim, Ein Nikvel Yom Yuchad. There is no specific date with Divrei Kabbalah, like Asar B'Tevis, Tisha BeAv. Rak HaDivrei Kabbalah, who the Neviyim's words are Al Elu HaChadoshim on these months. Tevis, Tammuz, V'Av, V'Tishrei, Michiyav and Lasanas V'Yem Echad. In any of these 4 months, you got to pick a day, fast that day. Avaloi Nisyachid Yom Yuchad. Rak Eze Yom Shiroitze Yuchal Lasanas Rak Be'elu HaChadoshim. Has to be within these months. V'Raya L'Davar. I'm going to bring a raya to my Mahalich. I'm going to bring a number of rayas. The pasuk Zechariah Einim before Eze Yom Klal. It doesn't say any day in the pasuk. Rak Tzayim HaRavit, Tzayim HaChamishit, Tzayim HaSin Heno Chadashim. The months. Avaloi Be'eze Yom. V'Avi L'cha Oid Rayas Brurus Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach. I'm going to bring you a number of strong rayas, to my opinion. Number 1 is the first the Gemara that we just learned. The Rosh Hashanah Yudches and Beis Pligin and Bekiva Rosh Shimon. So arguing to the Bekiva Rosh Shimon. And Bekiva Soiver held that Soim Asiri Haino Asara B'Tevis should be Sol Malach Babel. And Shimon Bar Yochai Omer Zachamisha B'Tevis Shabal Shmuel Agoyla. V'Kasha. It's very hard to understand Estim Minchas Chinam. The Hema you take of Lachar Churban Kidua. Shimon Bar Yochai and Bekiva lived right after the Churban. My plea, what are they arguing about? They didn't know. Puk Chazim Mayam Adabar. Go look out what everyone did. Until then. During Bayesheni, those dates that were negative dates in Bayis Rishon were happy dates. So look what day they were all happy on. It must have been a certain day in the calendar. Over Bayis Rishon are you Tanoim, Bayshame, Bishil, V'yesem, Mekable, HaTorah, V'hei Shakadar. In Bayesheni, you had big Gedolim, big Tanoim, Shame, Hillel. They didn't know. Everyone forgot. What happened? There was a big loss of the Messiah here. Furthermore, the Gam Sham also in the Gemara, it's Mavur, the Tisha BeAv Tammuz Hufkeir. On the 9th day of Tammuz, the city was broken into. How do we fast on the 17th day? We fast on Shavasa B'Tammuz, not on the Tisha BeAv Tammuz. Look, it happened on the 9th of Tammuz. Mataratz Rav explains that Bayesheni Nechra B'Shavasa Bay. Since Bayesheni was on the 17th, whom over B'Taisa Sham Taisa brings it down, or Bayesheni Charmel, and Bayesheni is more important to us because the Beis Hamikdash closer to our times. Al Kaim Misan B'Yitzayin. If we fast on Shavasa B'Tammuz, ask the Minchas Chinuch our big question on this Gemara. To me, a Gedoyla, a great wonder. Hey, Chichayla Manachnu Laka Divrei Kabbalah Shukitayra. How could you change something? If it says in the Neviyim you have to fast on the 9th of Tammuz, how could we change that? Chachomim could come and change the words of the Neviyim. They could say, we feel that wasn't Bayis Rishon, but Bayesheni you should do it on a different date. How do they have a koyach to argue with the Neviyim? The Neviyim set up a day on the calendar that Tisha BeAv Tammuz we should fast or be happy during the second Beis Hamikdash for what occurred during the first Beis Hamikdash. You can't change that. You want to add a date, you can add another Taanis. The Chacham have a koyach to tell you to do a second Taanis. They should have been Keveya also Yitzayim, but not take away Tess. Even from the kasha, you're going to say it's too hard to fast twice in 1 month. So close proximity. Can we go and how can we go and openly tell you you're allowed to go and eat on the 9th day of Taanis? Do whatever you want, enjoy yourself. It's against mamish, against the Torah, against the Navi.
So it's a raya that there was no.
Oh, a raya. It must be that there never was a specific date on the calendar. Because if it was, how could Chazal move things around? How could they change it? Void another raya. Rabbi Yochanan says in Masechta Taanis in the ending, if I was there when the Beis Hamikdash was around by the Churban, I would have made a date on a different day, not Tisha BeAv, but Asara BeAv. Ilu ayisi sham, if I was there, kavaitiv, I would have been kivei the Taanis on a Siri, because that's when really the Beis Hamikdash is fully burnt out. The starting of the burning was Tess, but Tess close to the evening. So it really burnt mostly the next day. But Rabban and the Chachomim hold the schalta to pronos adifa. The beginning is the worst. You go after the beginning. When it all started, it started in the beginning. Same kasha. What does it mean? If I was there, I would say something different. It's totally in him. It's something from the Neviyim. It's something what Hashem wanted. You're going to make shinuyim over here. It's up to you to make the decide. It's totally in him. You can't make any changes. Next page. For sure, from all these Gemaras, you see clearly where I explained. He's very sure of himself. The Kabbalah, the Neviyim, were not keveya dates in the month. Whichever day in the month you want to fast. As well, those days that there was shalom, and that you're supposed to prava happiness in those days. There's also no specific date. In Cain, therefore, during the Bayisheni, every city would do the way they wanted. Maybe it was totally the city, not every family, like I said before. Every city would decide what's the best date for them. When the second Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, the Chazal wanted to be keveya specific dates within the month. Chazal felt it's too confusing. Let us set up specific dates. But he writes in the Kvaya Yom Eil Chol Yisrael B'Shava, and he gives a very geschmack example. We know we blow 30 tkiyas on Rosh Hashanah. I mean, we blow a lot more than 30, but the main ones are the 30 we blow right after the bracha. The Shloshim tkiyas. What are these 30 sounds? Why are we blowing so many? The Torah only says to hear 9 sounds. To hear the Truah with a tkiyah before and a tkiyah after. So that's altogether 9. But the Maisa, there's a machloikis. Why? So the Gemara says that Bavo was Masakin, the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. The Bavo was Masakin that you should do all the 30, all the different types. The Truah, the Shvarim, the Truah and the Shvarim together, Tashrat. What's the reason? The machloikis. Sometimes the Rambam Shita is Rabbi Vo did that because we lost the Messiah. There became a suffix and a doubt in what is considered the Truah that the Torah mentioned. What is this sound? So we have to do all the 3 different sounds that there was a suffix. However, L'maisa, Rav Haigoy, one of the Goinim, brought down a number of Rishonim, held differently. He held there never was a suffix in Messiah. Every year they knew what the Truah was. You think one year Mintamol they all forgot. Every year, you knew last year, what did you hear in Shul? If a guy's going to start blowing up his new sounds, we're going to all throw him off the bimah. He's not going to be able to go. So what's the shot? He Taanis there never was a loss in Messiah. Elamai. All these 3 sounds all constitute a Truah. They all are called a Truah in the Torah. They're all kosher sounds. And every kehillah, some people will do this, some people will do that. All different minhagim. But they all are valid Truah sounds of Torah. However, Rabbi Vo saw that this confusion is bringing about, this different minhagim are bringing about machlokes in Klal Yisrael. Because some places are saying our sounds is the real Truah. And other Kehilas saying, no, ours is the real Trua. Really, they're all good.
The Ammonite.
They're all good. So Lamai said, Abavo said, made a takana to keep Shalom and Klal Yisrael. All Kehilas have to do what all the Kehilas do. So everyone has to do all 30. That's the way he explained Abavo. So says the Minchas Chinuch, similarly, Chazal after the Churban, by Sheni, they felt every Kehillah was picking different dates within the month when to fast. They didn't like it. It's bringing confusion, different minhagim. Let's all have a unified day. That all of Klal Yisrael fast on one day. It made sense. And so therefore they chose specific dates within the month. But the fact that they chose those dates, the way the Minchas Chinuch understands, it's only midrabanan. Midivrei Kabbalah, based on the Neviyim, you could choose any day in the month. Take a look inside. We'll go to Ma'ir soon. The 5th line, in the middle of the 5th line. Ka'ahu the tkiyas the hiskin abavo, similar to the tkiyas that abavo was masakin. Should call Yisrael b'shavat, that all the Klal Yisrael should be equal. Meshakot of high going zalhu b'rishayin of high going shita by tkiyas. Obiru Chazal la'achrachur miyamalol, and Chazal chose specific dates after the Churban, and that's what we find in Gemara Machloikesin about what is a specific date. V'hayadas Rabbi Kiva felt that what day should be the tzom. He looked into the Pesukim. He thought which day of the month is right to be Kiveya the tzom. Asara b'tevis. For him, the day of the siege, when the siege started, Yi Asara b'tevis Sheboya Ye'esal Yisrael Samach Melech Bavel. That's the day we should be Kiveya. Rashbi of Shema Yichoyim or no? I hold Chamisha b'tevis. They bring rayas from different psukim. Smach the Ba'am, it doesn't say in any of those psukim you have to fast on those dates. Those are just psukim that show you that bad things happen in those days. It doesn't say you have to fast. They just, each one feels what's the best day to commemorate. The best day in the month to choose to have the Taanis on. The worst day in the month to choose. That's the machlokes. Valkain, also therefore Rabbi Yochanan was able to say, he was there, he would have made the fast on the 10th day. How could he have said such a thing? It's from the Neviyim. It's not his choice. No, the Neviyim were never kiveya specific dates within the month. So that was Chazal were able to set up the dates. So they left it over for Chazal to choose specific dates. So Rabbi Yochanan could say, if I was there, he meant if I was there, I would be kiveya that day. V'gam svaras Rava the Bayi Sheni Chamalon debated b'yoyim shehoyse b'Bayi Sheni mikol mokli nekra Kabbalah b'kichedesh zemasanim. The same thing Rava said. Even though in Bayis Rishon, when was the wall broken in? The wall was broken on the 9th day of Tammuz. On the 2nd Beis HaMikdash, it was Shivasa b'Tammuz. How could we change the date and start to fast on Shivasa b'Tammuz? Maybe we should add a 2nd date, but we can't take away from Tes Tammuz. It's from Divrei Neviyim. Minchas Chinuch says, no, Neviyim were never kivei a specific day in the month. We could choose Tes Tammuz, Shivasa b'Tammuz. Amol used to fast Tes Tammuz, and now Chazal said we want it to be Shivasa b'Tammuz. That's the day.
We go to mine?
We go to mine. There's one thing I want to say on Nafkimina. The Minchas Chinuch says in his pilpul is that what happens if someone by accident he made a mistake and he didn't fast on that day, or he couldn't, or he was weak. Any day, the day Chazal told you to fast. If Chazal told you to fast Shavasa b'Tammuz, right? You couldn't fast on Shavasa b'Tammuz, right? You were shvach. Or you made a mistake, you didn't know, whatever happened, you weren't able to fast. Based on L'chura, you should have to fast another day in the month.
Right.
Because the Divrei Kabbalah, like his Pshat, any day in the month, Ba'etzim is a Chiyuv. Chazal were Kivei a specific date, and you're for sure not allowed to go against Chazal. You have to Chiyuv to fast on the day they told you to. However, for some reason you couldn't, it was a Shas Tzchak. It wasn't your fault. Or you were a shaykig, whatever the story was, maybe now you have to fast on another day.
Or the other way. If somebody did that.
Anyway, it's a very big chiddush.
Only if you
It's a very big chiddush of Minchas Chinuch, but Lamaisa answers up a lot of shaylas, a lot of interesting gemaras, which are very problematic without his beer. Without his explanation, we don't really have any understanding what's going on in all these gemaras. So he gives a nice mahalach.
So wait, the question was just asked, what should this guy do if it's midivrei, if it's midrabanan? So he doesn't have to say do another day.
L'maisa l'mashal. It's not going to help. Once Chazal told you a specific date, it's not going to help you fast it another day in the month. Like let's say l'chatchila, I want to fast it. You're going to have to comes that day in the month. You have to fast that day. Chazal told you to fast. The question will only become if you can make up if you didn't fast on that day b'shoigig.
Only if it's midivrei kabbalah. It's vansach on the machlokes, right? If it's no xeris hamachas, whatever. No, shouldn't.
Or if you fast on Hey David, then you have to step also in Shirosel.
So what's the answer?
Shouldn't be dependent on.
Anybody here goes into it?
Give tzedakah instead of fasting.
L'maisa Rabbi say, hopefully Tisha BeAv will have to fast.
Amen.
Just like it was a nidche from Shabbos to Sunday, it should be a nidche fully, and should be taka, like we say over here, Bizman Shi Yishalim. The Torah says that it's going to be Yila Beis Yehuda L'Sasan and L'Simcha.
Amen.